It can take anywhere from 3 to 10 years to go from $0 to $1 million, depending on your abilities, technical aptitude, relationships, and ability to use the tools you have at your disposal. Even if you're starting from nothing, there's no reason why you can't speed up your way to $1 million in 3 years if you have all four of them on your side. It's something that people in a variety of industries do on a daily basis. Hello and welcome to Luxio, and we are here again with another inspiring video. By the end of this video, you'll know how to brute force your way to $1 million. But before we begin, tap that subscribe button and hit that notification bell to not miss out on more of our awesome content. $1 million isn't as valuable as it once was. It wouldn't be enough to live a rich lifestyle for the rest of your life, but it would make your life a lot better than it is now. Here's something 99% of the population doesn't realize, and it's why they're not in the 1%. You don't usually earn $1 million. You make $1 million. There are just a handful of jobs that can help you get there. A professional athlete, a vocalist, or a high-level software engineer are all possibilities. But you won't even come close for the rest of the jobs out there. As a result, you must generate value and trade it for money. Pay very close attention to the graph here, as it is based on both personal experience and data gathered from various firms in which we have invested. Although your personal time frame may be slightly different, they all follow the same pattern. Some people may be able to complete it in 3 years, while others will need a little longer. For the vast majority of businesses, the procedure is relatively identical. If you look at the graph, you'll notice that there are 3 distinct stages of development. In the first phase, nothing happens. You're putting forth a lot of work, but everything is in disarray. The learn and develop phase is when you don't know what to do, who to hire, what the customer wants, what your business strategy is, and more. This is the stage where you're figuring things out. People will dismiss your efforts during this time. They will mock your objectives and dismiss whatever you do. They'll advise you that you should be doing something different instead. It's been nearly a year and nothing has happened. This is the point at which 90% of businesses fail, but you're not one of them. You'll bury your head in the sand and continue to build. Learn quickly and build in silence. You will be able to grow more quickly if you are able to learn and apply new information quickly. If you're still in the early stages of your growth, learning how to learn is perhaps the most valuable talent you can have. You're the one doing practically all the work on a low budget in phase 1. You're involved in everything, and you're honing the talents you'll need to go to phase 2. It's a lot different than phase 1 since you're starting to see some results. Some of the ideas you learned in phase 1 have gained traction and are now moving at a faster pace. If you've put together a market, ready staff, had a few clients, and your business model has been proven, all you have to do now is repeat the process. Phase 2, the traction optimization phase. If you look at the graph, you'll notice that it's practically linear. You can start fitting with the details, train people, hire more specific talent. You are still in complete control of your growth trajectory, and it feels like you've figured it out. At this point, you should be able to see what your competitors are up to and how they're moving. You're aggressively competing with everyone else in your market for consumers' attention, followers, etc. And the optimal traction phase. You're expanding, but you're not yet differentiated enough. At this point, you haven't figured out what your secret sauce is. All you want to do is make the whole thing as simple as possible. Remove all build-up systems and recruit personnel to take over some of the responsibilities you've previously had. It's only then that you'll be able to take a step back and see the big picture. And that's when things will start to fall into place. Third phase. It's referred to as liftoff stage. Observe the graph with great care. Over 90% of your money will be created right here. When you figured out how to scale exponentially over time, you reach the liftoff stage. Instead of picking up one customer after another, instead of building once and selling once, you figured out how to build once and sell 1,000,000 times. Your attention is turning to creating products that consistently bring in customers. You are no longer pursuing the client in phase 3. You, on the other hand, become a customer magnet. Your brand becomes well known, your fuel begins to work, and your advertisements produce a favorable return on investment. When clients suggest you to others through word of mouth, network effects are at work. All of this puts you in an unusual situation. For the first time in your life, demand exceeds your ability to meet it. Figure out a way to meet that need, and you come out on top. The 3 stages of your financial journey are as follows. In order to benefit from exponential growth, you must be willing to accept asymmetric risk. It is the most efficient means of accumulating money. In the top right corner, you'll find our video about asymmetric risk. As an employee, you can't have exponential growth, so you need to incorporate and start a business. But how do you go about doing it? You'll see that there are 10 separate spots labeled with the letters of the alphabet on the graph we showed before. Now we'll take you through each of these 10 stages so you can analyze where you are in your journey. You begin at 0 in the left corner. You have a concept, but don't know where to begin. As you can see, getting from the corner to the first A points takes some time. This is the point at which you decide to begin. A is the first day you start working on your business. You might, for example, register a domain name. You've created a website. You either list your first product or declare to the world that you've started doing something. You're using money from your own pocket at this point, which is terrible because you don't have much for the sake of this video. Let's imagine you start with less than $100 and employ all of the technology breakthroughs available to you. Instagram is free, and so is TikTok. Following that is the B point. For a long time, you've been putting things together. Although there has been some interest, little has changed. You're learning a lot, yet your faith is fading. It's been a year since you came up with this idea, but it hasn't progressed yet. This is much more typical reason for people to give up. The B point is a litmus test to see who will stick it out. You may not be making much money, but you are progressing. True drive and discipline break through great amounts of rejection at this time. You'll have to do it the hard way, sending hundreds of messages to receive a positive response. To acquire one order, you'll need to upload 100 photos on Instagram. You'll need to cold call 100 firms until one of them agrees to listen to your pitch and possibly convert. Then repeat the process 100 times more. The B point is when you start to realize how to make money the hard way. If 100 pitches are required to land a client, then do 500 pitches if necessary. You've come to play the long game, so concentrate. You'll get to point C with all of that effort. It isn't much, but it is an honest labor. You've finally realized how much effort it takes to land just one client. This is a game-changing moment for any company. This is the point at which you understand you can deliver your product or service over and over again. It's only an issue of maintaining momentum. The C point refers to the point at which an idea becomes a reality. You're still doing practically everything yourself at this point. You, on the other hand, are the creator and provider. You're in charge of shipping as well as tech support and sales. Continue to do so. We understand how difficult it is, but you must persevere. Things will begin to improve. Which takes us to the D point. You've been on this road for about 2 years, and things are starting to gather up speed. You've got a few satisfied clients in the business. It's making a little money. You've been incredibly busy for a while, and now you realize you need some assistance. You're getting your first employee at the D point. Don't get us wrong, you still work at 100% of your capacity, but you have someone else working beside you. Just remember that they aren't you. They'll never be able to work as hard as thoroughly as you do, but they do make a living and make your life a little simpler. This permits you to concentrate on business expansion at this point. Even though you aren't paying yourself, you are paying this individual. Basically, the money you receive is used to hire your first employee. But that's fine, because you can observe your company's growth trajectory. You're able to progressively grow the business's income thanks to this fresh assistance. This brings us to point E. You may not appear to be doing much, but you're actually killing it right now. You've figured out a strategy to scale your business that's both sustainable and linear, and you've also figured out how to hire people. Looking at the graph, you're making at least twice as money as you did before. You already know what to do in the previous point. You're not going to the club, of course. Instead, you'll reinvest each and every dollar that comes in. You're still living on a shoestring budget, but this is a game of patience. You're currently eating so that you can eat whatever you want later. So you hire another individual to assist you boost sales even more. And guess what? Now you've reached point F. You've already employed a few people, and your company's stock is rising. So you start to dream bigger. Perhaps you've become a little more technical with your business now that you've learned what works and what doesn't. Plus, for the first time in your life, you're generating a significant amount of money in comparison to anything else you've ever done. This is usually where you improve your infrastructure as well as the quality of your products or services. You invest in a new website, redesign your items, and start purchasing raw materials in bulk because you now have a predictable demand with which you can negotiate, lower prices, and enhance your profit margin. You've created a valuable product for which people are willing to pay premium. This is the ideal place to be. This is the point at which you must take your marketing seriously. You'll need a long-term strategy for reaching out to additional people. Start experimenting with some of the money you're making. Be cautious since at this point, a slew of smaller businesses will knock on your front door, which is offering the moon. A significant number of them are artists. They don't care about your business. All they care about is your money. The issue is that you have no idea which is which. You'll have to kiss a few frogs until you discover one that turns into a prince. Like with everything else in life, this is normally the point at which you hire someone full-time to handle your marketing activities. And voila! It happens! The H point. The H point, believe it or not, comes with a difficulty you didn't foresee. You're currently at capacity due to the marketing component's success. You simply can't keep up with demand at this point. Because you don't have the infrastructure to fulfill all of the orders, you're now turning them down. Please don't be alarmed. This is a fantastic situation to be in. Fortunately for you, the company is profitable. you can put that money towards employing more individuals. Bring in some new technology and automate as much as possible to further streamline operations. At this point in the firm, you have a number of employees that are responsible for various aspects of the operation. Production, sales, and marketing are all handled by different groups of people. And perhaps more crucially, this is where you have a manager who keeps the firm going. On a daily basis, your attention is on business development and the quality of the product or service you're providing. Because of the scale of the company and the number of people involved, exercise extreme caution at this point. Inevitably, the quality will degrade. Remember that they aren't as concerned with minor details as you are. As a result, quality monitoring is crucial. People are racing to buy from you because of the high quality. All of your hard work and attention can now be monetized thanks to the new framework. The I point. Your business is currently developing exponentially if you've been able to maintain, if not improve, the quality of your product and reach the desired customer audience through successful marketing. You're probably bringing in between $1 and $5 million each year, and you're fine with pulling some money out of the business. You've worked hard for it. We understand that hearing $5 million in revenue but so little money for yourself may surprise some individuals. These people have no idea of product margins, what it takes to keep people employed, how advertising budgets work, or how to balance it all, or a return of investment that is positive. Building a solid business is difficult since there are so many moving parts to consider. You pay taxes, buy equipment, and practically all of the profit goes back into the business. The I point is the point at which you begin to gradually improve the quality of your existence. It's all about you. You must teach your brain to focus on growth rather than pleasure until you reach this point. It doesn't imply that you must suffer, but rather that you must be deliberate in your spending. It's a slick slope that needs to be avoided. You can zoom out a little and take a new look at the business at this point. You'll apply Pareto's law to business development at this point. 80% of your efforts result in 20% of the reward. As a result, keep your attention on the 20%. Instead of selling to one customer at a time, you hunt for strategic partnerships or large commercial deals that will bring in value over time. Instead of hiring one person, you sell in bulk to a wholesaler. You're handing over a piece of work to a full-fledged company. This is the kind of work that will allow the company to keep up its incredible growth rate, eventually getting us to J point. The letter J stands for joy. You've successfully developed a business that will provide for you and your family for the foreseeable future. Not only is your firm profitable at this point, but you can also pay yourself significant dividends and end-of-the-year bonuses. Your company is now worth more than $10 million, which makes you overjoyed and pleased that you've made it this far. It's up to you now to decide whether you want to keep growing the business or sell it for profit. Before we end this video, I want to ask you this. Examine the 3 stages of growth as well as the 10 letter points dispersed over the line. Where are you in your financial journey right now? Leave your answer in the comments below. As always, we want to thank you for reaching the end of the video. I hope you learned so much. To help this channel grow and see more of our inspiring videos, make sure you like this video and tap that subscribe button. See you next time.